We had a cold morning with temperatures falling into the upper 30s to start this Tuesday, but we are going to see a warming trend starting tomorrow. Our high temperatures will be around 80 degrees and our lows will be above that 50-degree mark. So coming up, I'll have all the details on that.
Right now on News Channel 6 and 10, school closings, openings, and construction in Columbia County. Board members meet to talk about schools tonight. Also had an effort to give an old park new life. A look at the progress out at Pendleton King Park. And Historic Augusta announcing its endangered properties list. A look at those locations as your news at 10 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Brad Means. We do thank you for joining us as coverage you can count on begins with a look at what the future holds for schools in Columbia County. The board met tonight. Hannah Latier was there.
Is to reduce and balance enrollment, especially over the next 2 years.
The closure of South Columbia Elementary School and the opening of the new North Columbia and Westmont Elementary Schools are prompting the county to propose rezoning for some areas.
Relocating students is never an easy thing, but anytime you close a school completely down, whatever that enrollment is, you have to find a home for all of those students.
The elementary schools affected are Blue Ridge, Brookwood, Evans, Lewiston, and Martinez. Students who were moved to other schools when the old Westmont closed will be going back to its new building.
So you try to do it in a way that accommodates where they live, closest so there's not a whole lot of disruption to their day.
Areas will also be removed from the Grovetown High School zone. That will affect Evans Middle, Grovetown Middle, and Evans High Schools. And one area of the Harlem High and Harlem Middle zone will be switching to Greenbrier.
Evans and Middle and High could accommodate some extra students, and we could relieve Grovetown High and Grovetown Middle just a little bit. And then we made those changes to Harlem Middle and Harlem High simply to accommodate the bus routes.
The presentation on Tuesday was the first in a series of 4.
We'll take every suggestion. We read every single one of them. And so we do value that input. And so we encourage parents to be at those meetings.
They hope to get final approval for the plan at the November 14th meeting.
So what we would do then is start on meeting with teachers and parents and stakeholders so that we can properly allot personnel for the next year, and so our families can start planning accordingly.
In Columbia County, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
That presentation is going to be on the school board's website tomorrow. You can find more information on where and when the upcoming meetings are at WJBF.com. It is time now for our first look at our weather, and we're going to check in with Jenna on this nice night for that.
That's right, Brad. It is a nice night. We have clear skies still. It's nice and dry outside. No rain in the forecast, not only for tonight, but over the next several days to come. You're taking a live look now at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview Cam over at Augusta Regional Airport. Winds are pretty light today. It was a warm afternoon. We made it to 76 degrees, which is actually spot on with our average for this time of the year. However, notice that low temperature was nowhere near average. We were at 39 degrees here in Augusta. That is 11 degrees below what we typically see. But notice now it is warmer than this time yesterday. When I was here this time yesterday, we were in the mid to upper 40s. Now, not so much. We are seeing temperatures anywhere from around 1 to 10 degrees warmer. That's the case down in Wrightsville, sitting at 51 degrees in Augusta, but 61 in Allendale. 55 in Barnwell, 57 in Louisville, Wrightsville also in those low 60s, 53 in both Edgefield and Lincolnton. So as I mentioned, winds are pretty light. They're coming in from the northeast, so that is continuing to bring in some cooler air for now. But starting tomorrow afternoon, we will see those winds shift and we'll get a warm up by the afternoon. So notice on satellite and radar, we aren't seeing any cloud cover at this time. It is clear across Georgia and South Carolina with high pressure still in control, and just some rain out to the west of us, all from the remnants of what was Hurricane Norma impacting Mexico. But for us tomorrow, still keeping it mostly clear, just some stratocumulus clouds moving in throughout the day from the east coast. Temperatures will be in the upper 40s, so around 10 degrees warmer than it was this morning. So we will see that warming trend throughout the rest of the week, keeping it mostly sunny and dry. We'll also have a beautiful weekend ahead, and then next week, another big cool down is coming our way. I'll have all the details on that coming up, but back to you, Brad.
A local group is cleaning up a park in Augusta, getting rid of dangerous species from trees along the way. Nikita Dennis, live in our Satellite News Center with the story. Nikita.
Yeah, Pendleton King Park has plenty of trees that are covered in plants that could be a danger to nature, and the Ivy League is hoping to cut all of them down.
And I'm just heading up this Pendleton King Restoration Initiative project. It's kind of just something I came up with and affectionately referred to as the Ivy League, just as like a sort of pun on the fact that we deal with a lot of English ivy.
John Patton Moss is the organizer behind the Ivy League, a group that is working to clean up Pendleton King Park.
I mean, to the untrained eye, it would probably be hard to notice. Basically what we're doing is seeking out invasive species that are from primarily Europe and Asia, and we're removing them manually and treating them with chemicals.
Moss says the group got a grant from the Georgia Botanical Society to help clean parts of the park and remove English ivies, but there's more to be done.
A lot of them were planted a couple decades ago, and they're just spreading into the woods. So we've taken out Chinese hollies, Bradford pears.
So far, they have cut down trees on a walking trail that were covered in vines. The goal is to inform people on how to recognize plants that could be a danger to wildlife.
I guarantee you our birds and wildlife notice. I mean, Pendleton King Park we've documented 151 bird species here, and a lot of them move through and use the park to rest and refuel on migration.
The Ivy League meets every first and third Saturday of the month from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Live in the Satellite News Center, Nikita Dennis, WJBF, Channel 6.
Historic Augusta announcing its annual endangered properties list today. It includes the former First Baptist Church downtown, the greenhouse on Miller Street, as well as houses along Wrightsboro Road. Historic Augusta's president says they can't save every historic building, but the community can help.
We have to monitor, we have to identify, and then we have to try to reach out and raise awareness with the public to hopefully get some investment and get the owners interested in putting money into these properties, renovating them, and returning them to the tax base.
Historic Augusta also revealing a few properties that have been saved, including the Bowler House on Phillips Street and the 9th Street commercial block of James Brown Boulevard. Georgia's law that outlaws abortions after 6 weeks is going to remain in effect. Today, the state Supreme Court rejected a lower court ruling that called the law invalid. Governor Brian Kemp calling that a victory that ends litigation and ensures the lives of Georgians of all ages are protected. The ACLU says it's going to fight the ruling.
Doctors now practice with the threat of criminal prosecution. And so when a person is making reproductive health care choices, their physician has to advise them worrying about their own criminal liability. And so some things that are standard of care in other states are now criminal in Georgia.
That case now goes back to the trial court. Still ahead, Jenna with a look at what to expect weather-wise this week. Plus, a look at the first ever electric airplane. They charged it at Augusta National today. Look at that big old plug. Stay with us.
Your home.
I don't know. You didn't call my dad.
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Good Tuesday evening. It's another pleasant night. Skies are mostly clear and it is definitely dry. No rain in the forecast. Here's a live look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam over at Doctors Hospital. Temperatures are still in the low 50s here in town. We have calm winds and a dew point of 49 degrees. And around the CSRA, notice this gradient here where we are still seeing some low 60s as well, anywhere from Burke County down to Emmanuel and over into Allendale County. The rest of us, though, seeing a lot of those low 50s, 54 in Crawfordville, 53 in Lincolnton. Aiken, you're at 50 degrees, and all of us enjoying the clear skies tonight. And tomorrow, still going to keep it mostly clear. We will have this onshore flow coming in, though. Notice even some showers off the coast there. That's all due to that high pressure moving all that in. But out to our west, that's where all the rain and unsettled weather is. So that will not be impacting us. High pressure will keep us dry other than just a few of those clouds moving in. Really not a lot of impacts over the next couple of days. Hurricane Tammy also won't be impacting us. It will be impacting Bermuda though. Notice right now winds are at 75 miles per hour. It's still a Category 1 hurricane, but it will begin to weaken as it enters a lot of wind shear, which will essentially tear up the storm, and it will also become an extra tropical cyclone as we go into the weekend, just sort of circling around Bermuda and staying away from the east coast of the United States. Now for our day planner tomorrow, we will see mostly clear skies throughout the day, just some stratocumulus coming in from the coast. Temperatures starting in the upper 40s, climbing into the upper 70s. And notice over the next several days, we will see this warming trend. We'll be at 47 still for now, but mid-50s are on the way for our low temperatures. And as for the highs, we'll be climbing as well, all the way up to 80 degrees on Friday, low 80s until next Monday. And then Tuesday is Halloween, and that's when we'll have a cold front coming in, which is now starting to move in earlier than expected. So this is a look at Monday night. You can see this sharp gradient here with the temperatures where we have all the cold air behind the front. So by Monday, we'll still be warm, but as we go into our Tuesday morning, that's when this front will be passing us. So that's why we'll only be topping off in the mid-70s on Halloween. Speaking of, Halloween is now only 1 week away. It is coming up fast, giving it a high of 75. And keep this in mind for Tuesday night. It's going to get chilly pretty fast. Our low into Wednesday morning will be 45. Well, let's go into our futurecast now. As I mentioned, that high pressure will be bringing us an easterly wind, bringing in those clouds from the coast. Just some clouds throughout the next few days. Mix of sun and clouds here and there, but no rain to worry about. Lows tonight will be in the mid to upper 40s, and for tomorrow, our highs will be in the mid to upper 70s. A very nice day, seeing a lot of sunshine in the forecast, especially over the weekend. It will be sunny and warm, great for any outdoor plans. As we go into next week, things look great as well. And then remember, we have that cool down starting on Halloween.
All right, thank you, Jenna. We appreciate it. Electricity could really play a big role in the future of aviation. This year, Beta Technologies installed Georgia's first electric airplane charger at Augusta Regional Airport. Well, this morning, Beta came back to the Garden City to charge its all-electric Alea aircraft. It's quick charging, it's quiet, and they say nearly 3 times more efficient than fuel-powered jets. Leaders at the airport say this visit is part of their commitment to new technologies and greener efforts.
As battery technology advances, we'll see huge leaps in electrical aviation. You'll see huge leaps in just like your vehicles, right? As battery technology grows, so will electric aviation, and we'll start to see that shift towards it. And hopefully, especially with emissions from both cars and planes, we'll start to see that kind of tailored down as we get better with our battery technology.
Beta is going to use the new planes for cargo and military medical transportation for now, build up a good safety record, and then move on to human transport. Still ahead, the latest details on the Alaska Airlines incident. A look at the charges an off-duty pilot is facing and what led to the situation. As coverage you can count on continues.
Welcome Street, we're in your corner. If you're a realtor, lender, or builder, join our partner network today.
Choose Frales & Wilson.
If you've been arrested for a DUI in Georgia, you may only have 30 days to protect your license or your privilege to drive here. Hi, I'm Tiffany Duncan of DUI Duncan, the DUI firm here in Augusta. Visit our website at DUIDuncan.com to see what we've done to help so many drivers. If you've been arrested for a DUI in Georgia, call me now for a free consultation. While the firm, of course, cannot guarantee results, we do guarantee hard work and fast action.
Remember the name, DUI Duncan. Gear up for from Lionel Smith Limited.
Passengers aboard an Alaska Airlines flight suffering a terrible ordeal because of an off-duty pilot. Joseph David Emerson allegedly attempting to shut down the engines of the plane mid-flight. He was in court today. Here's Melissa Dunn.
Off-duty pilot Joseph David Emerson, accused of trying to shut off the engine of an Alaska Airlines flight, appeared in court today, facing 167 charges, including 83 counts of attempted murder. According to a federal criminal complaint, 44-year-old Emerson told investigators he hadn't slept in 40 hours, felt like he was having a nervous breakdown, and mentioned to them the use of psychedelic mushrooms. Authorities say the off-duty pilot attempted to pull the T-handles while sitting in the jump seat inside the cockpit of the flight. The on-duty Alaska Airlines pilots say they did not see anything wrong with Emerson until he allegedly said, "I'm not okay," and then reached up to grab the red fire extinguisher handles and pull them down. A struggle immediately ensued, and Emerson was taken down and removed from the cockpit. According to the complaint, he reportedly asked a flight attendant to cuff him.
No fight, no commotion, just nervous passengers, but quietly nervous.
One of the 80 passengers on board the flight that was scheduled to land in San Francisco from Everett, Washington, says she was panicked.
So we landed, and then about 10 police officers, armed, came on, walked straight to the back of the plane where I was sitting, and detained him. Then the flight attendant got back on and told us he had a mental breakdown.
The flight making an emergency landing in Portland, Oregon, where the off-duty pilot was arrested. Emerson was scheduled to be part of the flight crew on an upcoming Alaska Air 737 flight departing from San Francisco before his arrest. Emerson was sitting in the cockpit jump seat behind the pilot and first officer. Had that handle been shut off, it would have killed the fuel to the engine mid-flight. Aviation experts say that move could have been fatal. A preliminary review of Emerson's work history shows a clean service record. The FBI says they're investigating whether he was on a psychedelic trip, dealing with the mental health crisis, or something else. Melissa Don, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Coming up, state volleyball playoffs in South Carolina, and the struggles continue for USC and Clemson football. How their coaches hope to turn things around.
Or by calling 706-651-0018. Registration is required.
And last but not least, a dog trapped in a 20-foot mine shaft had his rescue live streamed.
The community in Gold Hill, North Carolina, all came together to find a community member's furry friend.
Derek Dillinger tells us about the rescue effort.
If you venture to the community of Gold Hill in Rowan County, you'll notice part of the reason it got its name. It's a draw, but also a danger. On Saturday morning, it became a danger for one dog who got stuck.
Hey y'all, if you're just joining in, there is a dog trapped in about a 20-foot mine shaft down here on the other side of Gold Hill.
This is some of a Facebook Live of that rescue from the Gold Hill Volunteer Fire Department. Firefighters say the dog went down the night before, and the owner tried getting him out without any luck.
He said the dog just got out of his cage and possibly was chasing something and ran the wrong way.
And when firefighters arrived,
we needed more equipment and manpower.
For the uninitiated here, Gold Hill is a community that has a bunch of mine shafts. None of them are in real operation, and they're behind homes and also in parks.
If you wander around Gold Hill, you never know what you'll stumble upon.
In fact, at the park in Gold Hill, you can take a look inside of a mine shaft. While this is not the exact one that was involved in the dog rescue, this does give you an idea as to the challenges.
The funny thing is they had a confined space class there too at the rescue squad. So a couple of the students came with us and we had everything set up, and they helped set up everything really quick, and they knew because they already set up the same scenario at the station right like 15 minutes before they got there.
After waiting out all night, the dog was out in about an hour. To say the least, the dog was happy.
He was loving everybody there, as you can see from the pictures.
The pictures themselves are a bit of a keepsake. Man's best friend finding about 24 more friends who all helped him back to safety. The dog, we're told, was uninjured. In Rowan County, Derek Dillinger.
Well, thank goodness that dog's okay.
Yeah, surprised he's not injured or anything.
Yeah, close call, no question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, for our forecast this week, we will have nice sunny skies still. It's going to be warmer as well. We'll still have a chilly night tonight, low of 47, but we'll warm up to 78 in the afternoon, 80 by Friday, and our lows will be into the mid-50s. So we'll see these warmer temperatures all the way until next Monday, keeping it sunny and dry. Then on Halloween, it will be much cooler, high of only 75, and notice highs falling into the 60s by this time next week, and lows in the mid to upper 30s.
All right, that's it for now. We're back at 11 on News Channel 6. Please join us.
Don't change the channel yet, because Hogan's Heroes is next here on MeTV.
$37 million. Good luck in Play On, America.
We had a cold Tuesday morning with upper 30s, warmed up nicely in the afternoon, and we'll continue to see a warming trend all of this week and the beginning of next week. I'll have all the details on that coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 and 11, Columbia County talking about school rezoning tonight. A look at which schools are involved. Also had a local group doing a massive cleanup at an Augusta park, how they're helping wildlife there. And historic Augusta with some endangered properties, which ones could be at risk, as News Channel 6 at 11 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 11.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Brad Means. Thanks for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with a look at what the future could hold for Columbia County schools. Board members meeting to talk about it tonight. Here's Hannah Latier.
Is to reduce and balance enrollment, especially over the next 2 years.
The closure of South Columbia Elementary School and the opening of the new North Columbia and Westmont Elementary Schools are prompting the county to propose rezoning for some areas.
Relocating students is never an easy thing, but anytime you close a school completely down, whatever that enrollment is, you have to find a home for all of those students.
The elementary schools affected are Blue Ridge, Brookwood, Evans, Lewiston, and Martinez. Students who were moved to other schools when the old Westmont closed will be going back to its new building.
So you try to do it in a way that accommodates where they live, closest so there's not a whole lot of disruption to their day.
Areas will also be removed from the Grovetown High School zone. That will affect Evans Middle, Grovetown Middle, and Evans High Schools. And one area of the Harlem High and Harlem Middle zone will be switching to Greenbrier.
Evans and Middle and High could accommodate some extra students, and we could relieve Grovetown High and Grovetown Middle just a little bit. And then we made those changes to Harlem Middle and Harlem High simply to accommodate the bus routes.
The presentation on Tuesday was the first in a series of 4.
We'll take every suggestion. We read every single one of them. And so we do value that input. And so we encourage parents to be at those meetings.
They hope to get final approval for the plan at the November 14th meeting.
So what we would do then is start on meeting with teachers and parents and stakeholders so that we can properly allot personnel for the next year, and so our families can start planning accordingly.
In Columbia County, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
By the way, that presentation is going to be up on the school board's website tomorrow. You can find more information on where and when the upcoming meetings are at WJBF.com. Big changes to school lunches. It is time now for a first check of our weather, and for that we want to check in with meteorologist Jenna Petracci. Jenna?
Well, Brad, it's another clear and dry night. We've had a lot of sunshine over the last few days, and that trend will continue throughout the rest of this week, along with some warming temperatures. But right now, you're taking a live look at our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam over at Doctors Hospital. We had around average high temperatures today. 76 degrees is what we got to in Augusta. Mid to upper 70s for the rest of the CSRA. But notice this morning, we were nowhere near average. In fact, we were in the 30s here in town. That is a pretty chilly start for this time of the year, but I'm expecting us to be actually above average within the next couple of days, with those lows more so in the mid-50s. Notice you can already see that warming trend. In fact, it's 10 degrees warmer at Sandersville and Millen, just a few degrees warmer in Augusta and over in Aiken. We're sitting at 50 degrees in both Augusta and Aiken, 54 in Barnwell, 51 in McCormick, still 60 in Millen, 61 in Sylvania, so much warmer down towards the south. 53 as well in Lincolnton and Edgefield. Winds are coming in from the northwest or northeast, but we'll start to see more of just an easterly flow over the next few days. Right now, a little bit breezy over in Aiken County, 6-mile-per-hour winds, 4 in Waynesboro and 5 down in Swainsboro. So clear skies for everyone, really not even much cloud cover this evening. Georgia and South Carolina not showing much activity. We do see some showers just off the coast, and notice these clouds. These will continue to trail in due to that high pressure out to sea, bringing us that easterly flow. So we will see some stratocumulus clouds throughout the day tomorrow, but still overall a mostly clear day. Sunny by 8 o'clock, temperatures rising to 52 degrees. So we'll see warmer temperatures throughout the rest of the week. The weekend will be beautiful, keeping it sunny and dry. Then next week, right around Halloween, we'll have another big cool down. So if you want the cooler fall-like weather, it is coming back pretty soon. And I'll have all the details on that coming up. But back to you, Brad.
All right, Jenna, thanks. Historic Augusta, East Brown Boulevard. A local group is cleaning up a park in Augusta. They're getting rid of dangerous and nuisance species from trees, making the whole park a lot better. News Channel 6's Nikita Dennis, live in our satellite news center with that story. Nikita.
Yeah, Pendleton King Park has plenty of trees covered in plants that could be a danger to nature, and the Ivy League is hoping to cut all of them down.
And I'm just heading up this Pendleton King Restoration Initiative project. It's kind of just something I came up with and affectionately referred to as the Ivy League, just as like a sort of pun on the fact that we deal with a lot of English ivy.
John Patton Moss is the organizer behind the Ivy League, a group that is working to clean up Pendleton King Park.
I mean, to the untrained eye, it would probably be hard to notice. Basically what we're doing is seeking out invasive species that are from primarily Europe and Asia, and we're removing them manually and treating them with chemicals.
Moss says the group got a grant from the Georgia Botanical Society to help clean parts of the park and remove English ivies, but there's more to be done.
A lot of them were planted a couple decades ago, and they're just spreading into the woods. So we've taken out Chinese hollies, Bradford pears.
So far, they have cut down trees on a walking trail that were covered in vines. The goal is to inform people on how to recognize plants that could be a danger to wildlife.
I guarantee you our birds and wildlife notice. I mean, Pendleton King Park we've documented 151 bird species here, and a lot of them move through and use the park to rest and refuel on migration.
The Ivy League meets every first and third Saturday of the month from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Live in the Satellite News Center, Nikita Dennis, WJBF, News Channel 6.
All right, thanks, Nikita. Great job by the Ivy League. Looking good out there. The United Auto Workers Union expanding its strikes against the big Detroit automakers, this time adding a factory that makes Ram pickup trucks for Stellantis. The union says 6,800 members walked out today at the Michigan plant. The newest strike action coming just 3 days after the union president reported progress in talks with General Motors and Stellantis, but said the companies will have to make better offers.
Every time they make an offer, it's the best they can do. It's a record offer. And then 2 days later, there's a new record. What that should tell you is there's room to move.
There are now about 40,000 union workers on strike against the big three automakers. Coming up, the forecast with Jenna for the rest of this work week and into the weekend. And did you hear about this? A deadly highway pileup in Louisiana, horrible fog, and just a horrific scene as coverage you can count on continues.
This is going to be a lot of work.
Helping people is simple. Just do the right thing.
The Live Viper 6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai. Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
It was a beautiful Tuesday, nice and warm by the afternoon, but boy, we had a chilly start. Many locations in the CSRA started out in the upper 30s this morning. Not quite at that frost level, but definitely pretty close. And next week, we could be around that point as well. But in the meantime, we will actually have a warming trend for now. Our Terry Lambert Hyundai Skyview cam outside the station looking nice. We're sitting at 50 degrees. On the cool side, but it won't be as chilly tomorrow morning when you're headed out the door. I'm expecting more so those upper 40s rather than upper 30s. Dew point of 49, winds are calm. And notice it's warmer down in our southern line counties, seeing 60 degrees in Millen, 61 in Sylvania. Aiken also at 50 though, 52 in Edgefield, 51 in McCormick. All of us under the clear skies. Georgia and South Carolina not showing much activity. A few light showers off the coast. Notice this onshore flow here happening. That's due to this high pressure that's generating that clockwise flow coming in, and that means we'll see a little bit of clouds coming in from the coast for tomorrow, but the bulk of the activity is well out to our west. That's where all the unsettled weather is, and that will be staying there, so we won't have any rain to worry about over the next several days to come. Now, as for the tropics, also no concerns for us. I'm just watching Hurricane Tammy. As of the 11 o'clock advisory, it is starting to strengthen. Winds are at 85 miles per hour, and it's headed up towards the north, towards Bermuda, but it will start to weaken because of some wind shear around the Atlantic. So at that point, it will start to just dissipate before it makes its way anywhere near the East Coast. Now for tomorrow morning, we'll see mostly clear skies, 47 degrees, 77 by the 3 o'clock hour. And notice our lows will go back into the mid-50s starting on Thursday, finally above average for several days in a row. Upper 70s Wednesday and Thursday, 80 on Friday, low 80s in the weekend all the way into next Monday. But notice on Halloween, we will have a cold front come through, which will drop our temperatures pretty drastically. Look at all this cold air coming in behind the front. This will be Monday night. So by Halloween afternoon, we'll already feel those cooler temperatures. And then on Wednesday, November 1st, that's when it will really start to be much chillier. Speaking of Halloween, already only a week away. 75 is our high, and notice the low Tuesday night into Wednesday, back into those mid-40s. Still no chance of rain, though, and no chance of rain over the next few days. Just those clouds coming in from the east, as I mentioned. High pressure still in control. Not seeing a single drop of rain, though, across Georgia and South Carolina. Lows tonight will be anywhere from the mid-40s to low 50s. Highs tomorrow in the mid to upper 70s. In your 10-day forecast, showing those rising temperatures, will be at 80 degrees on Friday and through the weekend. Once again, a cool down starting on Halloween, and as we go into the first few days of November, highs only in the 60s, lows in the 30s.
All right, thanks a lot, Jenna. We appreciate that. First responders down in Louisiana still searching for victims of a deadly car pileup on Interstate 55. It happened yesterday morning in very heavy fog. At least 158 vehicles were involved, 25 people taken to the hospital with a range of injuries, and 7 confirmed deaths. A tanker truck carrying what troopers described as a hazardous liquid caught fire after the crash. Troopers say the truck is in the process of being unloaded. Once that happens, responders can better assess the vehicles in that area.
We're trying to expedite it as much as we can, but there's no timeline. The number one rule is safety. We want to make sure that the bridge is safe before we open it. But we also want to make sure that our crews that go out there to inspect the bridge are in a safe environment.
24 miles of that highway still shut down. No word when it's going to reopen. Still ahead, an off-duty pilot accused of trying to crash a plane with 83 people aboard. Details from his first court appearance in a moment. But first, the winning numbers for tonight's South
High Demand Fields. 8 locations to serve you.
The new Kid Flash Cosmic Coaster is headed to Six Flags Fiesta in San Antonio. It's a small racing coaster. It has 2 trains zipping along the tracks at the same time. You see it has LED lighting in the tracks. It can be programmed to show different designs and patterns during the ride. Kid Flash, currently undergoing testing, should open soon. Looks fun, looks pretty.
Brad, I just told you my opinion on roller coasters.
Right, we're not going to ride it. Yeah, we're not doing it. No.
No.
Front row.
Yeah, that's for you. Brad doesn't like them either.
Right,
Brendan,
too
you're
much
on your
motion,
own.
too much, all the Dramamine in the world.
Yeah, it did look cool, but I just can't do it.
Yeah, pretty to look at.
But for our forecast this week, we have some really pretty weather, lots of sunshine, and warming temperatures.
All right, thank you, Jenna. And thank you, Brendan. Good graphic on the 10-day there, Jenna. Well done. Thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you. Have a good night. Well, I was surprised to see that coaster. It looks really fun.